Apparently, it's happening. Texas Senator John Cornyn is now confirming that the FBI is officially on board to track down the Texas Democrats who left the state in an attempt to block Republicans' redistricting efforts. It's only the latest escalation in a fight that's now reaching a national boiling point. Democrats have faced bomb scares, a threat from the president himself, and a new investigation from the state's attorney general, but they are holding the line.
What we're going to have to do is go into blue states and play hardball.
For me, this is not a cavalier moment. This is a moment where we've got to stand up to the powers to be.
Joining us now is Tim Miller, host of the Bulwark podcast and former communications director for Jeb Bush. Former Maryland Democratic Congresswoman Donna Edwards is here as well, both are MSNBC political analysts. Tim, the FBI going after state lawmakers now. What do you make of that?
Well, I've got two thoughts on it. One on the John Cornyn side of things, and this is so political from him. He's facing a primary for the Senate from Ken Paxton, who's more of a darling of the MAGA right. So he's trying to figure out what he can do to butch up and seem, appeal more to MAGA voters. And I guess this is what he's come up with. The FBI side of it, the politicization of the FBI is truly remarkable. Kash Patel, during his confirmation hearing, talked about how he was aiming to not to depoliticize the FBI, and he didn't want to look back, and he wasn't going to go over the enemies list. And here we have just today in a couple of stories, we have this where the FBI is going after Texas Democrats. This is really a priority for protecting the country. It's crazy. And on top of that, they've now pushed out, among other people, Brian Driscoll, who they call Driz, who is a non-political acting FBI official who was asked by the DOJ when he was the acting head of the FBI, rather, after Christopher Wray resigned. He was asked by the DOJ to fire any FBI agents who were involved in the January 6 investigations. He wouldn't do it. And now, according to the Times, he's been pushed out today. So, just from stern to stem, a total politicization of the Bureau.
So, Congresswoman, here's where we are. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has been giving these, as you know, Texas Democrats, let's call it refuge, political support for these past several days. He now says he will protect them if the FBI comes into Texas. How do you read this? And it is even clear who would have the upper hand in that scenario.
Well, I'm not really sure how this at the end gets resolved, but the reality is the FBI actually doesn't have any jurisdiction over this matter at all. We're going to see how that plays out. Look, I think Democrats are in a position of saying we're going to have to play hardball because Republicans opened up this entire redistricting fight with the move that they're trying to make in Texas. And Democrats, even if they don't feel good about the process, there's not going to be a unilateral disarmament. And so I think you're going to see blue state governors like Governor Pritzker, Governor Newsom, my home state Governor Moore, really go to the mat, Kathy Hochul in New York, and say, if Texas is going to do this, then we're going to respond in kind.
Yeah, one of the things that there are people in that delegation, that Texas delegation, is they want Democratic governors to do more. In fact, the chair of the state Democratic caucus made it very clear that he wants them to retaliate directly on redistricting. Take a listen.
I'm going to make a criticism of those blue state governors. My criticism is, what are you waiting on? You said if Texas does it, you're going to do it. My whole delegation is away from their jobs, away from their families on the first day of school. They have mortgages to pay. They're getting fined $500 a day to try to protect representation in government. What are you waiting on? It's already happened.
Is it time for Democratic Democratic governors, rather, to move, Congresswoman?
Well, as I said, I actually hate this process entirely, but the Supreme Court opened the door in 2019 to this political gerrymandering. And so I think that Democrats, no unilateral disarmament, go for it. And they don't have to wait until Texas finishes. They can do it now.
Tim, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, speaking of ways in which things are getting politicized, has opened up an investigation into the political organization run by Beto O'Rourke, accusing him of funding the walkout. What does that tell you?
Well, I mean, look, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about John Cornyn. Both these guys are now in a primary against each other for the Senate. They're trying to appeal to the most hardcore MAGA right voters, and they're coming up with political stunts in order to do so. I think the serious element, I mean, this is obviously a stunt, but the serious part of this is, this is somebody that is an official of the court, like the Attorney General. So we see this now at the Justice Department in Washington that's been totally politicized. We've got Pam Bondi strategizing with the White House on what to do about Epstein. In Texas, you have Attorney General targeting his political foe, as part of this redistricting fight, trying to figure out a way to get into the story. And that has real ramifications as this stuff trickles through the court. It's not just a press release. These are people that have obligations and responsibilities to uphold the law, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, and I guess there is the other part of this, Congresswoman. What about the fact that in the midst of all this partisanship, there are a lot of individuals who are collateral damage?
Well, I think that's true. I think if you look at these states, the reason that redistricting matters is because it has real impacts on people, on the representation that people get, and whether they really have a voice in the Congress. And so this isn't just a casual matter. But if Republicans are going to politicize in this kind of way, and if they're going to use the levers of government in order to do that, the FBI, the Department of Justice, then I think that Democrats have to be responsive to that, because otherwise they'd be failing in their representation of the American people.